I'm going to tell you the complete story today from the night someone broke into my home to the day that we launched LekkerClap. So it was an ordinary night. I was home. At that point, I was staying with a friend, and we didn't hear a thing. And in the time that it took for my friend to wake me up and process what was happening, it was already over. The threat had gone, but the question stayed. Calling the police is an option, but where I was at the time, really, there's literally no point because half the time they didn't have the vehicles. Calling neighbors again didn't really feel like an option because nobody's up at that particular hour, and the neighborhood network just felt more fragmented, I suppose. So I mean, the threat was gone, I could say, but the question stayed. Now, while I was waiting, I started asking, why isn't there something better? Surely there's something better than this. I had a phone in my hand with apps for food, for taxis, for music, for hotels, for rooms, and nothing, absolutely nothing for the moment I needed my community most. So the question that followed me for months was simple. Uber solved proximity for cars. Airbnb solved proximity for rooms. Why hadn't anyone solved proximity for people? And not just any people, your neighbors, the ones who already live within shouting distance, the people who, with the right tool, could be there in minutes. I started researching, there were panic buttons, alarm companies, but nothing that activated your community um, in real time. That gap, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Now, I'm not a developer. What I am is someone who understands people and understands problems. And the space in between those is where I do my best work. So I found a team. Meet Zane. We shared the obsession about making something that is useful to somebody. And we started building. It wasn't clean. The first version was embarrassing. We rebuilt it. We talked to neighborhood watch chairmen, to state managers, to the woman who lives down the street who hasn't felt safe in years. And every conversation changed something. It and every change made the product more honest. The hardest part, it wasn't technology, it was trust. Getting people to share their location with strangers, even nearby strangers, requires trust that no feature can shortcut. So we built the trust infrastructure first. Verification, community ratings, transparency about data, and we made it possible to trust before we asked anyone to. And that took more time than the app itself. And to be honest, it is still an ongoing process and we still figuring it out. And we will get that absolutely spot on, but we're very close on that. The day LekkerClap went live was not what I expected. I expected relief, but I got something heavier because the moment it was real, so was the responsibility. Real people, real emergencies, real expectations. And that weight hasn't left. And I don't want it to because the day I stop feeling that is the day I've stopped caring about the person at 2 a.m. So where are we now? We have a founding community. We have real responses. We have stories that stop me mid-sentence. And we have a long way to go. From Lagos, Nairobi, Atlanta, the problem doesn't end at one border, and neither do we. If you've watched this whole thing, thank you. Not for the time, but more for the belief that this conversation is worth having. Because the more people who believe a neighborhood can protect themselves, the more neighborhoods actually will.